So, Brett, tell me a little bit about the history of how you became sort of the rum ambassador for Romero.
Well, they were interested in talking to me about being a representative or sort of being a spokesperson for the rum, and then they invited me to come see how they make it and see how it tastes, how I like it. And I've always been a rum lover. I like rum, and I've always liked. I was in Puerto Rico when I started wrestling. I drank a lot of rum down there and became a fan of rum back when I was younger. And I've always liked it. It's one I've stayed shy of in recent years. But when I drank the Romero rum, I just found it such a nice rum. And it's really smooth, really well done. And it's like, so I'm like a happy ambassador. I'm happy to support them, and I know the family, and they're all such great people and they have a great product, and I'm happy to be working with them.
So, what is it to mean to be the ambassador? What kind of things have you done for the company?
I've gone to different places in the Maritimes where they get a lot of their materials from. I've gone to different rum fests. I've gone to a rum fest not too long ago in Brooklyn. That was a lot of fun, except for you got to drink a lot of rum. But it was just that kind of stuff. I've done what I can for them here in Calgary on a local level, but at the same time, there's different things that they have asked me to do, from cardboard cutouts to commercials and different things. But again, I mostly love the product, and I like the people that I'm working with, and that's my motivation for Romero.
So, tell me a little bit about when you decide to endorse something. What goes through your mind in making that decision on? Because I imagine you probably have over your lifetime tons of them, right?
You do got to be selective and pick which ones you want to be. Like obviously you wouldn't want to do cigarettes or something like that. But like I had an offer not too long ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, to do a commercial for the gambling sort of stuff. And, I didn't want to do it. I thought about Jim Neidhart, my old tag partner, had a real serious gambling problem, and he lost a lot. He lost everything gambling, a lot of times. And I just, on a personal level, I just didn't want to be associated with gambling and support. Being an advocate for gambling is not something that I would want to do. And I see a lot of big celebrities doing it, and it's like, it's like pushing drugs to me. It's a really bad thing, gambling. It can ruin families and people lose everything. You're always going to lose everything being a gambler. Very rarely do you win. So the odds are always against you. And you're making out that it's just this fun little hobby to go out and spend a little bit of money on gambling. I think that's kind of a pipe dream kind of thing. Like, if you like gambling, you're going to bet your house. I mean, you're going to lose everything. There's a lot of people that, and again, I go back to Jim Neidhart, that I remember one time he had all his jewelry made, wristband, his Rolex watch, and a necklace, and just some really nice stuff that his dad had especially made for me out of gold. And I remember we got up one day, it was one of the few nights I didn't babysit him or go out with him. He went out on his own. And I just remember, I said to him in the morning, I said, "Where's your watch?" And he's like, he didn't want to say anything. And it's like, he lost his rings, his watch, all his everything, his necklace, all the stuff that his dad had given him had died now. Irreplaceable. And I just remember, just for a few hours, it wasn't with him. And that's what kind of gambling can do to you. And I just remember that, and I remember how bad he felt, and it was really sad to see that happen. So that's a personal level, and but you know, I wouldn't want to be tied in with a product that I didn't really enjoy, or you know, promote something that you weren't really fond of. You know, I'm quite happy promoting the Romero rum just because I really like the product. I can stand behind the product. We'll try it. Just try it and tell me how good it is. And I've never met anyone that didn't. Even at these rum fests, they like tasting it and doing all the, you know, and sipping it a certain way, and it's like, it always comes back like, this is a really good rum. This isn't just an average rum. This is like exceptional. It's won a lot of awards and stuff. So I mean, I stand proudly with Romero. I'm really proud of it as a product, and I'm proud of the family and the work they do, and how hard they take care of their employees, and it's really a great organization, and I have a lot of respect for the whole family.
What kind of reaction do you get at some of these rum festivals when people see you show up?
I think I did pretty good. Like, I'm a good, you know, I like the product, and I like, I'm a very easy to talk to kind of guy, especially when you start vibing me with the rum, you know. So it's like, I find the rum fests are a lot of fun. I usually have some good conversations with people, and I think they're always a little surprised to see me there. But at the same time, you know, there's sort of, all right, we're going to try it, you know, because we're talking to you, we're going to try your rum. And they're always like, this is a really good rum. And they're all people that are going to buy it and take it to their stores and stuff like that. So it's like, I felt when I did it in Brooklyn, for example, that had a lot to do with people coming to check out the product and coming over, and couldn't believe that I was sitting there. Some of them just want to talk wrestling, funny enough. But you know, at the same time, you eventually coax them into having a sip, and next thing you know, they're on board for Romero.
How often do you get approached by different companies to do endorsements and stuff?
You know, it's hard to say. Like, sometimes the stuff just comes out of the blue. I did a pretty big commercial last year for Amazon, which was really great because it played all over the States, Canada, and it was good for people to see me back on national television in a commercial. And I got a lot of text messages and calls from people that were just so happy to see me on TV on a national level, and not something old. You know, I think lots of documentaries and stuff in recent years, and so people have, but commercials, you know, I probably could do a lot more. I think I have a respectable brand, and I think that speaks volumes about my wrestling career.
So a lot of people obviously, you know, would like to use your name, but it's your brand and who you are. How would you describe, you know, what your brand is, like Hitman Hart's brand?
Well, I think I'm a lot like my dad. I think I'm somebody was respected during his career as a. My dad was respected as a tough guy and a really legit tough wrestler guy, and was famous for it, and then famous as a promoter also. And I'm not quite like my dad. I wasn't from that era, but I end up in the wrestling business that he's part of, and I learned everything on it. I think my dad we have a lot of opposites. My dad was a professional at hurting people, and I was a professional at not hurting people. And two different, but they amalgamated into the same kind of profession. But you know, I think, you know, it's getting now where people don't really remember my dad so much. You know, it's like but I feel as I get older now, all the time, I feel more and more like my dad all the time, and I feel like the respect I get from people at a Safeway. It's funny because I remember my dad going to Safeway, and everybody would come up to him and talk to him, and it was like the most fun day of the week for him. It was for him to go to Safeway on Saturday, and mostly socialize with people, going up and down the aisles and picking out apples and whatever he was doing. And I remember that was a big thing with my mom and dad. They just loved going to Safeway on Saturdays. It was like the most fun thing they did all week. And, you know, for me, it's like I go to Safeway and it's like, you know, people come up to me and, you know, nobody's ever rude to me. Nobody ever comes up and says anything, you know, weird to me or anything like that. It's like always very respectful, always mindful of, you know, taking my time up in a restaurant, in a Safeway store. But I find I always accept, I have no problem with it. I always quite happy to be, you know, I had 2 little kids just a couple of days ago came up to me at Safeway and asked me if I was Bret Hart. And they're about 8 years old, and I thought, I don't even know who I am, like really, like, and especially today, like I don't look like Bret the Hitman Hart with the sunglasses and the red hair and you know, the big arms and stuff like that. It's all a million years ago now. It's like, but it's like, you know, I feel more and more the love of the community is a lot like what my dad had when he was in the same stage of life, and I appreciate that. I like that. You know, I think you know, I'm a big advocate or you know, a spokesperson for Calgary. I always have been, and even Canada for that matter. And you know, I remember when I first started wrestling in WWE, no one even knew where Calgary was. It was really hard to explain to people where Calgary was. You know, I had a lot to do with putting Calgary on the map all over the world, and represented myself well, and you know, became a champion. But it was always Calgary, 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 and I never ever left Calgary. People think, oh, I left and became a big star in the States, and now I come back to Canada and I'm living in Calgary again. I've never left Calgary. I just was on the road all the time. But Calgary's always been my home, and even, you know, you'd think after my wrestling career that I would have packed up and went to somewhere nice and warm like LA or San Francisco or California or Florida or somewhere. But I love Calgary. I'm happy here, and this is the place for me. I would never had any thoughts about ever leaving Calgary. I'm a big proud to be a spokesperson for Calgary too. But you know, I like that people see me as somebody that they have respect for and they appreciate my career, matches that I had. You know, so a lot of fans will stop me and ask me a question, and I'll be like, so I'll just say like, so what's your favorite match? And it's like 45 minutes later, they're still talking about their favorite match and what it is, and it's, you realize how much of an impact you've had on people's, you know, I don't know how to relate it to actors and people that do movies and stuff like that, but, you know, a lot of people relate to me as a character, you know, problems they had at school with somebody that was picking on them or something like that. You know, I meet them all the time, they tell me these stories, and I was one that changed their life because they needed a hero, because their dad was a drunk, or, you know, it's like there's people that had a lot of struggles and used me as a support system. And when you think about that, you realize how lucky I was to be able to be a big hero to people all over the world, different countries, and always, for the most part, always stand up for good, always fighting his hardest, always. And for me, it's like people that tell me that, it's like, you know, it makes all those body slams and arm drags and things, you know, those injuries that I got, broken bones, makes it all a little more worth it, you know, like there was something behind it anyway.
One last thing, when you're having a rum, how do you like to drink your rum?
I'll be honest, I like it just with rum and Coke. I don't like it any other way. I'll drink it, I'll be honest, I can drink this rum straight, like just rum on ice, which is nice. You gotta let the ice melt a little bit and dilute it just a little bit, and then it goes down pretty soon. But I love a good rum and coke. I think that's how it's, you know, you got to be careful drinking the rum and cokes because there's so much sugar. But you know, like I don't drink. It's not like I'm throwing them down hand over fist. You know, it's like I'm just gonna have a couple of rums. I'll be okay. And if that's the case, I'm just gonna have a couple of rums. Just give me Coca-Cola, regular Coca-Cola, not Diet. Even though I'm sure Diet Coca-Cola is much better for you.
All right, wonderful. Thanks, Bret, for taking the time.
All right, you're welcome.